We're going to talk today about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that's how to make the most of the leads and customers that you already have. I think a lot of marketing is going on chasing new clients to your business. But what happens if they actually become a lead? So they have made contact with your company. How can we actually convert more of those leads into customers? And this is a typical problem that a lot of small businesses run into. And I think it's if you do this right, if you make improvements in this area of your business, you're gonna see results. So I'm excited about talking about that with you today. And with me today on the call, I have Katie. She's our content strategist, and she'll be the moderator. So, Katie, you'll be looking in the chat box for any questions that you may have. We try to make this as interactive as possible. If you have any questions during the presentation, by all means, put them in the chat. Hopefully, we also will have some time towards the end for to answer your specific questions as well. Then also I have Mark with me. Mark is the leader at Edge for Easyleads. So Easyleads is our white labeled CRM platform that we will showcase, but the material that we talk about could be applied to any other CRM as well. So it's not specifically on Easyleads, our CRM, but that's just the platform that we're most familiar with, and we believe it can be very beneficial for a lot of people. So welcome, Mark. Out of rainy Lacombe as well, I suppose. How's the weather there, Mark?
That is great.
Well, that's awesome. All right, so we'll quickly jump into the agenda here. So yeah, again, I've covered these things. I believe there were some questions sent in as well in advance, so we want to make sure we get to those as well. So the real topic is like making the most of leads and customers. So every business has customers, hopefully, and every business has leads. So we're going to talk about a little bit about what the process is typically of what those leads are, the steps they go through that before they become a customer, and how we can improve some of those things with some of the technology that's available. So we have split it up in 3 different stages. So capturing leads, getting their information, then nurturing those leads, building relationships. And then the last step, of course, is the ultimate step, is converting those leads into customers. And a CRM system technology can really help with that process. So we'll talk a little bit about the benefits for your business, and then how do you get started with something like this? All right, and then we have a Q&A session afterwards. So alrighty, let's get going here. So I want to start off with a question to you. And when it comes to your marketing, are you a hunter or a farmer? Now, I think a lot of marketing that is being done by a lot of small businesses have to do more with hunting for new clients rather than farming leads and customers they already have. So as you know, hunting, maybe some of you are hunters, and I know a few hunters as well. They spend hours, if not weeks, in the bush trying to hunt down their prey. And it's a very difficult and unpredictable kind of a way of getting more leads to your business. So if you're not a good hunter, you could go hungry pretty quickly, right? And if you think back and way back in the day before farming made its appearance, a lot of people were just hunting. And I think if you relate that to marketing, I think a lot of the marketing that you see done has kind of to do with hunting. Whereas we suggest that yes, you need to hunt for new clients. Like every business need new customers, right? Like let's face it, like some people leave the business as well on the other end. It's just inevitable. No matter how well we do things, there's always some turnover. But today we want to focus more on the farming aspect of marketing, and which is kind of making the most of what you already have. So again, the analogy is we're planting a seed. So we capture information of a new lead. Then we nurture that seed. So we're actually building a relationship. So we're watering that relationship, and in the end, hopefully, we have a harvest. So I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but that's really one way of explaining how marketing actually works. So the next diagram kind of explains it a little bit better. So marketing is a lot of marketing tactics, and we work a lot of this with our clients, has to do with lead generation, getting more leads to the business, and that's super important. But again, what happens after they become a lead? So you want to get a lead into the business, then hopefully they become a customer, and then eventually they become fans of your business, right? Like every business has certain clients that if I would ask you who's your most favorite client, and you probably have somebody in mind, and you go like, well, what if you could attract 10 more of those clients? How would that change your business? So those three phases, like the leads, the customers, and the fans, are really one tool, a piece of software or a system that you can use is a CRM to make that to make the most of that. And that's, I think, a missed opportunity in some cases. If you've been in business for a while, then you probably have a decent sized list of people that you're already either sold to before, or they have shown interest but actually never followed through on buying. So, what are some of the things we can do to actually help them along the way? So, Mark will actually give some practical illustrations of how the platform actually works. How can you actually build these things so that makes it more applicable, I think, to your situation. This is in essence the marketing farming. Keep that idea in mind when we go to the next little bit here. So the three stages of customer relationship management, okay, that has to do with capturing, nurturing, and converting. So again, I think people coming to your social media page or coming to your website even as a visitor without a mechanism to actually capture the information of those people, you have no way of following up with them. So I always recommend really starting to building your list. And there's all kinds of techniques you can use like lead capturing, lead magnets, ebooks. Even this webinar you're on right now, in a way, it's a lead capturing system. Once you get a lead, not everybody's ready to buy today. So we just need to make sure that we build a relationship with them, right? Like they may visit your website one day and then they have all intentions to come back to that when they actually need your product. But if the reality is they're probably forgotten about you in a week, if not in days, right? So how can you stay connected with those people, build a positive relationship? You don't even have to sell anything to them at this stage. You're just giving them valuable information. You're building that trust with them. And then ultimately, the third stage is the converting. And again, Mark is going to show a couple tools that can help really streamline some of those things. Because if you don't have a process in place for these things, I know from personal experience, they just don't happen. So you forget about them or you get busy with other things. So by automating some of these things and making it into a process, you have a much higher chance of actually succeeding with these things. So here we are, the first step, capturing your leads. We're going to talk about some of the benefits, I guess. I've already mentioned a few of them, but you get visitors coming to your website, but you don't see enough new customers converting on your website. So what's going on here? Well, again, what I said earlier, not everybody's ready to buy today. So you got to really keep that in mind. There's only a very small percentage that have, they've done their research, they maybe talked to you before and they're ready to move forward. But sometimes those sales cycles can take quite long. In our case, sometimes it's years. I don't know if you can relate to this, but from the first time we meet somebody or connect with somebody or somebody connects with us till the time they actually hire us, there could be quite a lot of time in between. So, by capturing the information of that person, now we have somebody to talk to, or your salesperson has somebody to talk to. Collecting contact information is super important. Like build your list because that's kind of like a list you own of people, right? And I see this as a potential gold mine for you to actually utilize some of these and reactivate some of those people. So again, the technology we talk about today can really help with that. So lead magnets again could be webinars, ebooks, free consultation, whatever it is in your instance. Think of something that is really easy to deliver for you and that's really valuable for the client, right? So then if people click on that link or download or book a meeting with you, they know that they're serious about it, but they may need some more time to get convinced about, using you as a provider. So now, Mark, now it's back to you. Now show us a few of the things that we can actually do in real life, how that would work with a tool like Easyleads.
Yeah, you bet. So yeah, now I'll kind of show you, I guess, this in action, like what it actually looks like to capture leads. I'll kind of show what it can look like if someone fills out a form on your website, or even the web chat, I can show you how contacts actually get created automatically, just saves you time there. As well as cool tools like an opportunity pipeline and yeah, internal tools, smart lists, tasks, and all that. So if I head over here, so yeah, this is basically a case study here. This is a roofing business, and this is me just visiting this roofing business's website. Here we have James Bond. I put in all my information here with the goal of just getting a quote for roofing services. So I put in my address, my email. I even included what the roof size is. So I'll click here if I'm James and I'll get my free quote. And I'll show you in just a moment how we actually just captured all that information. Another cool thing you can have on your website is a little web chat. So maybe someone doesn't want a quote, but they just have a general question. Then I'll just put in my information again, put in my phone number. Maybe they're asking, hey, do you serve the Red Deer region? Click on send and boom. So now if I actually head to the platform, and I can see James Bond is already automatically created here, which is super cool. So you don't have to worry about manually entering in the contact. Every time someone reaches out to you with a contact form or the web chat, you can just see it right away. Now that I actually open up the contact, I can see James kind of in more detail. I can see on the left here, all of his information that we collected is automatically populated here. In the middle here, you can even see that based on, yeah, like he requested a quote. So an automated email was actually already sent to him. Hey, James, thanks for contacting us. And then it goes through a little more detail of what our business offers. And same thing for the web chat. They actually, and I felt the buzz on my phone there. I actually got a text and it just said, hey, James, thanks for your web chat question. We'll get back to you. So this is a really easy place to reply to this lead. You can email them or text them since we collected all that information. And lastly, on the right here, this is pretty cool. You can actually see the pages people visited before filling out, say, your request a quote form. So I can see an hour ago, they visited this page. Again, 22 minutes ago. And then 1 minute ago, they actually submitted that form and then the contact was created. So yeah, it just gives you a good idea of kind of the journey that people took to become a contact.
Yeah, and if I may interject here, like that's actually if we show customers the it's called like the attribution where those leads were coming from. So if your system is set up properly, then if somebody comes from social media, somebody comes from organic search, somebody comes from paid advertising, it actually shows up on the list. So you can actually see now what first what people have done on your website, but also where they initially came from, which is I think a really big piece of missing information that a lot of people are looking for, correct?
That's right. So yeah, in this case, you can see this came from direct traffic. You can also track if it was organic search or even paid search, whether that be Google ads, social media ads. So yeah, it gives you a good idea of what part of your marketing is working and how your website's doing.
So what about like if I use Instagram Messenger or something like that? Could that be integrated as well?
Yeah, you bet. So Facebook Messenger and Instagram direct messages are also fully integratable. So all those messages you get automatically show up in the system. Another cool thing that happens is here's the opportunity pipeline. So this just gives you a bird's eye view of all of your leads and yeah, all the new web chat submissions, all the new requested quote submissions. So I can see James Bond was actually already automatically created, which is cool. So I can click in here. I can add in more information about this job. There's even tools where I can assign this to a team member. So maybe Mark is in charge of this lead. You can actually assign them as an owner to this, which is super cool. Yeah, kind of going to, since they did request a quote, it even has an estimating tool. So I'll go there now. I will go new estimate, go here. And yeah, there it is again, like James Bond. It's just the information is very accessible. Once you collected it, it's just in the system and it's super easy to do a lot of different things with this information now. So I can easily select all of this information there. for this quote, I will choose the roofing package. So say it's $5 per square foot. I know he had a 1,000 square foot roof, so it's $5,000 here. For this estimate, yeah, you can fully customize it, the issue date, expiry date, add taxes, and all of that. On the right here, you can kind of see what that estimate would look like. And then once it's all ready to go, it's as easy as clicking send. And you can either send it via email or text or even both. So in this case, I'll just go email, go send. And then once it's gone through, so James will actually get an email now with that quote. So yeah, all that kind of took 5 minutes from when that lead came in. So that's super cool.
And
And
what
if I head
happened?
back, sorry, go ahead.
Well, what happens if they sign off on that quote now?
Yeah, so if they sign off on that quote, then yeah, then we can eventually convert that into an invoice, which is super cool. I'll actually show you that in kind of our third step. And now I can see that since I sent that quote, the opportunity was actually automatically moved here under the quote provided stage. So yeah, super cool. That just keeps you kind of organized internally. So that's kind of it for the capture stage of things.
Okay, some really cool stuff, and then really makes it easy for you to set up systems that actually all the people that contact you, no matter what platform or channel they're using, they basically all end up in the same list without any you having to do any work. And we see a lot of in a lot of cases, all these different systems run on different platforms, and there's no communication between the two. So you'll have a list of contacts for your email marketing, for example, that Mark will touch on in here in a minute. But that's completely disconnected from everything else that you're doing with this client. So now we've captured our leads. So the next step we want to do, we want to build out a relationship and nurturing those leads. So, water that relationship. So what are some of the things that we are addressing with that? It's really difficult to stay in touch with all my clients, right? That's, even if you have 100 clients on your list, like phoning 100 clients, probably it takes you a fair bit of time. And what if you have 1,000 clients on your list, or even one of our clients has 20,000 contacts on their list, right? Like it's just not realistic anymore to connect with them on a personal basis. But the next best thing we can do is have a very personalized approach. And that's where the nurturing part comes in. So a lot of from my own personal experience and working with hundreds of different small business owners, a lot of times we do a lot of work attracting new clients to our business, and they actually come in and say, "Hey, I'm interested," but we're not always very good at, unless they buy right away. We're not always very good actually, building that relationship until they're actually ready to buy from us. So I see that as a missed opportunity that if you improve that part of your business, it can really pay off quite nicely. So it's important to get them to like and trust you without really selling them anything. You don't have to, be pestering them with emails to say, "Hey, you got to buy my product." No, what people respond to is more, okay, like I can help you solve this problem, and give them some free information that they can actually apply themselves. Because we generally deal with the companies that we perceive as the experts in the field, and also the people that actually want to help us, right? So we generally return that favor by becoming clients of those providers. Remembering details, okay, like an automatic follow-up sequence, something like that, what Mark just showed, can just mean for people that, okay, like, Edge is still paying attention to us. We're important to them, and you are. But on a list with a couple thousand people, it's really difficult to do it on a one-on-one basis. Automating your follow-up. That's the other thing that's really important. It takes sometimes, depending on your industry, 5 to 7 time contact points with a potential client to actually get them over the finish line, right? And a lot of salespeople and a lot of small business owners just don't have the time to do it manually. I'm not saying that you can completely rely on these automations to do this for you, but it will really help you to have a baseline of contact with those clients. So, Mark, show us a few things in the nurturing stage of this process.
Yeah, you bet. So yeah, in this stage of the journey, I can kind of show you how James is already in an automated email drip campaign. and I'll show you the email marketing tool as well as a cool little feature called the stale opportunity. So if I head back here, I'm actually going to open up an automation. So this is actually, yeah, an automation workflow. I know it looks a little bit overwhelming. The good thing about Easyleads is we actually set up all this for you. But it's kind of cool to look at the journey that James is on. So you can actually see that James is at this part of this stage in the journey so far. So he submitted the web chat and the quote. You can see the opportunity was automatically created. He was even tagged with marketing list, which I'll show you where that went in just a moment. But he's actually automatically entered into a list that you can send future email marketing things to. So, and I can see this first email was already sent to James. So it said, hey, James, thanks for contacting us. It included some more information on our business, which is the roofing business. So now he's going to actually wait for 4 days, and then it won't send out another email until after then. So it's just another reminder. Just keeps your business in the top of their mind. And then after that, you can wait 7 days and they'll get that last email. So yeah, these emails are great to have. It just keeps your business in the back of their mind. It always gives them kind of lets them know what the next step is, because of course we already provided them with the estimate. It kind of explains to them what the next steps are. So if I head back to contacts here and I go to my marketing list, I can see James is actually automatically added because he was tagged with marketing list automatically. So let's say, all these leads, maybe it's been a year. We provided all these people with an estimate. No action really happened. Maybe you just want to give them a nudge, let them know that you still exist. So if I'll head to marketing here. So this is actually the email builder tool. And it's something that you can basically just drag and drop elements onto it. So it loads here. I can see on the left here, you can drag text or images or buttons. You can personalize it to make it look good, to be on brand. And then basically, once this is all set up with the appropriate content, you can go sender schedule. And it's got all the typical email builder tools, like say setting your email, the subject line, and then this is where you actually choose your list. So I choose my marketing list. And of course, over time, as more people are added to this list, they'll just automatically show up here. So you don't have to worry about manually adding them or anything. So once this is all set up, you just click review and send. And you've just sent all these people a nice little email.
Just a couple questions, Mark. For say if you have multiple products that you offer and then you have clients that are interested in the different products, what would you kind of do in that situation?
Yeah, so there's lots of different options. So kind of going back to the contact page where I just was, there's lots of different tagging and filtering options. So there's thousands of different filters you can choose. Maybe these people were created in this date range, or maybe based on the form, they're tagged with a different service. So maybe they requested a quote for shingling services. Well, then we'll tag them with shingles. Maybe it's a different service and we'll tag them accordingly. So that kind of just helps you separate them and segment your audience, because then it's important to personalize these emails for sure.
For sure. And just another question here. If they do sign off on the estimate, do they still get the nurture emails or will they get canceled automatically?
They'll get taken off automatically. Yeah, that's a good question. So that's kind of the beauty of it. It takes out all that work for you. Basically, as soon as you mark that as the estimate, once the estimate is marked as one, then they get taken off that list. You don't have to worry about them getting any of your marketing emails. So
or it'll be a different sequence that they go into, right? Like if they actually, maybe that's the welcoming sequence that they go into. But nothing is worse than signing up for something and then people keep trying to sell you that same thing that you just signed up for. So that's all done through the automations. And again, for our clients that we work with, we do a lot of the heavy lifting and setting this up for you, but you have full access to all the tools. And the automation tool is actually is only limited to your own imagination what you can build with these things. Like it's just like any other tool in the hands of a crafted person that knows what they're doing. It's unbelievable what some people have built with these things. But that's a very good question, a very important aspect of automation, right? Like you need to automate the right things while allowing for human interaction as well, but also be very sensitive to what information you send to people.
For sure. And then, yeah, kind of the last thing I'll show you here is say, yeah, James hasn't responded to the quote in a few weeks. And that means that this opportunity is kind of stuck in this stage. So we can actually set up a little reminder for yourself, like, hey, it's been 2 weeks. James has been in this stage of quote provided. Maybe you should follow up with them. So yeah, it just allows you to know how long it's been since they actually requested a quote and just keeps you organized in that way so you can follow up with them in a timely manner.
Another thing, like to go back to that opportunities board, is if you work with a small team, like even if you have 1 or 2 people on the sales side, this is a way that you can use like a tool you can use to communicate and see, hey, like if multiple people work on the same prospect, for example, it's really nice for you to know that the other person has, for example, or just contacted them yesterday. You can make little notes of what you discussed with these clients, so it becomes more transparent, and everybody that works in your organization is going to be more accountable as well to make sure, okay, did we actually follow up with some of those inquiries?
For sure.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so then we get to the third stage, and that's actually the fun stage, right? Like converting your leads. And so some of the things that we feel we can improve on with a tool like a CRM. Go to the next slide. Knowing which leads to follow up at first, right? Like based on the conversation and based on what they're actually doing on your website, you can make a call to the person that actually is closer to making the actual purchase decision. Where again, if you have hundreds of leads, like one problem that a lot of salespeople have is they don't know exactly which one to prioritize. So with a system like this, you can actually do that. You also want to remove as many roadblocks as possible, make it super easy to deal with you. So, we've seen the estimating, for example, but there's also a thing like an electronic signature, electronic sign-off, for example, that we can provide to our clients. And when we started doing that with our clients, right, before we send them a PDF file that they needed to print off, they needed to sign it, scan it back, and then email it. So like 4 or 5 steps. Whereas now it's just one link they click on, they can sign off on it electronically, and it just goes so much easier. And I do believe that our conversion rate has increased because of that. So we're very excited to maybe offer that to other people as well. It's something to really definitely think about, because the easier you can make it for people to contact you, first of all, but also when they're actually buying from you and actually you're engaging with them, the fewer roadblocks you can put in front of them, the better it is. And then again, what I said earlier, like just keeping your team accountable. So Mark, show us a few of the features in this area.
Yeah, you bet. So yeah, this is like Peter mentioned, the kind of the fun stage where you're actually converting these leads into paying clients or customers. So I can kind of show you some of the tools that Easyleads has to help you in that process. So there's a document and contract sending tool. There's actually a full invoicing tool and even a review request automation. Yeah, so kind of hypothetically, if we go back to James. And yeah, in this conversation here, maybe finally reply to one of these emails. Yeah, maybe it was a nurture campaign and he just let us know, hey, like I'm ready to move forward. Well, yeah, it's of course awesome. So, but now the question is, yeah, what's kind of the next steps? So if I go to payments here, there's actually a documents and contracts signature tool. So if I'll go to my templates, and here's my template, I'll use it. Under recipient, I will just select James here. And this is super cool because a lot of this information on here is added automatically. So based based just on the information that James put on that form. His address is autofilled, his phone number, his name, of course, the phone number. Yeah, and then this is already set up in your template. If I scroll to the bottom, it actually has the e-signature spots. So here's where James will sign, and here's where I will sign as the contractor. So once this is all ready to go, I just go send. You can either directly send it via email, or you can just share the link. I'll just go share link. So then if I want to send this to James, I would just copy this. And then once James opens up this link, it becomes super easy for him to sign this contract. So I'll go start filling out, click on sign here, and then he can type or draw his signature. Go finish. And it's as easy as that. Of course, this one would be for myself since I'm the contractor. So I would also just want to quickly sign that. And there we go. So now, since they've signed the contract, you can actually set up the invoice for them. So since we already sent them an estimate, it's pretty easy to convert that estimate into an invoice. So if I click in here, and I mark it as accepted, and then there's an easy button here, just create invoice. I'll go confirm. And now I can actually send this invoice to the customer. And once again, you can edit the issue date, the due date, and all of that there. So
Now, just to be clear, this is not replacing your accounting system necessarily, right? Like it's just getting the payments, but it's one of the things that you can do, and depending on your business again, of course, to create as little friction as possible. It once people are ready to buy, they sign the contract. They're probably also ready to pay that invoice as well. So instead of relying on another system to do that, this could be a really good way to collect that initial payment, and then of course you still need to have a bookkeeping system probably depending on the size of your business, but this is just one of those tools to make it really easy to make that conversion.
exactly, yeah. And another cool thing, I will head back to the opportunity pipeline here. So I can actually see that, yeah, James was automatically moved to the contract sign stage. So once again, if this is populated with hundreds of leads, it just gives you a good indication of, yeah, James has actually made it to this stage. And then I can manually,
Mark, do people get an email notification when that happens?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's tons of automations we can set up. And of course, these stages will be different for every business too. So we can customize that to whatever makes sense for your business. And then this is pretty cool. Once the project is complete, maybe it's in a few weeks, you can actually automatically send them a review request just by dragging them here. Yeah, it just makes it really frictionless. It makes it easy to request a review because we often forget to do that. And we all know that's pretty valuable to get those things like Google reviews. And I guess another cool feature about that is there's even like automated follow-ups. So say if they don't click on the review link in a few days, we can resend it. And yeah, this keeps it nice and easy for you.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for, so we're just scratching the surface, of course, but we highlighted a few things that we think would be applicable to a lot of you. And then from there on, we can sometimes build out more functionality as well. But what does this mean for your business? Well, you spend less time on lead management and more time on actually delivering your services or managing your business or working on your business instead of in it. Fewer opportunities and lost sales just because now you're capturing them, right? The computer is just going to capture each and every lead, and unless somebody deletes them, they're going to be in your system. So now you have something to work with and something to talk about as well. Again, if you have a small sales team, you can, at your weekly sales meeting, you can go through those leads and see where everything is at. You can improve your customer relationships and repeat business because it's not only for new clients, you can also build better relationship with existing clients by staying in touch with them. Grow without hiring more staff. I think some businesses try to solve the sales problem or the conversion problem by adding more salespeople. And that doesn't always work, because if you have no system or a broken system of how you do your sales, then it's not going to make any difference. And you're setting up your salespeople for failure, and you don't want to do that. So with some of these automations, it makes your life easier. But more importantly, I think it's actually because it's a system that runs 24/7. You have to, you're basically forced into following up with more leads and actually getting more clients that way. Also, when you look at your client base, you can actually make more intelligent decisions about who you should follow up with first. And yeah, we've seen great success with even a reactivation campaign. Like, for example, you have 1,000 people on your list that you haven't talked to for a while. An email campaign with an offer or an email campaign with something of value can actually really bring a lot of these people back to your door. So now, how do you get started with this? Some of the recommendations we have, look at what you're doing right now. I mean, I'm sure you have some kind of a process in place, but it's not always properly documented, maybe. So my recommendation is to really write it down or schedule it out if you're a visual person. Are you capturing leads? Are you actually only focusing on customers, or are you also capturing leads and actually follow up with leads? And what does the process look like? Do you have actually, for example, at Edge, we have certain guidelines. We want to get back to leads in a certain number of hours, for example. We want to follow up after a project is finished within 3 days. Some of those things. Start writing some of these things down, so the people that have to do this work know what is expected. And yeah, then see where you can make improvements. And maybe, maybe you're already doing a lot of these things, but there's always little things you can tweak. And the reality is, with all the money you invest in marketing, if you can increase your conversion rate by just a very small percentage, it's going to have huge impact on your bottom line, on your profit at the end of the year. Gather your list of customers and leads. I believe that's your gold mine, and you own that gold mine as well. You own that list, not Facebook, not Twitter, not LinkedIn. You actually own that piece of information, so nobody can take that away from you, which I think is really important. We all know it's getting more and more difficult to get the attention from your clients, right? Because there's so much noise, there's so much happening. So if you can have a list of people that already know, like, and trust you, you have a much higher success rate with talking to those people. Start small. We just showed you some basic features that a lot of our clients are using. Start there. Like, you don't have to do everything at once. I would highly recommend against it, because then that's how you get yourself in trouble. And the last thing is, like, the implementing a CRM is it's a little bit of work, and it's actually proven that a lot of the CRM implementations are failing, and they're mainly failing because of the lack of support. Because setting all this stuff up, that what Mark showed, it's gets technical really quickly, and we're dealing with medium-sized and small businesses. They don't always have the time or the desire to learn all that stuff. So what we offer is actually a managed CRM. So we do a lot of the heavy lifting. We set all this stuff up for you and really help you make the most out of what you already have. So create a plan. Make sure that you have somebody on your side in the business that's responsible for this and can help. Is accountable for this, and then also work with a partner that actually can help you with getting some of this stuff done. So this, again, if you want more information about the platform or any of the other services that we provide, by all means, we can do a personalized demo for your business, right? Because every business is slightly different, so we can hone in on things that are really important for you. So that's an offer to you that's available anytime. And with that, we want to hopefully entertain some questions. And while you're thinking about some of those questions, a few questions were sent in. So, Katie, let's first open it up for questions from the floor. So you can either open your mic and just ask the question, or you can type it into the chat bot. Katie, go ahead and ask one of the questions that were asked in advance.
Yeah, for sure. So an individual is wondering, how can I get more clients to book from my social media posts?
Yeah, so the one way of doing that would be to have a link back to your website where your appointment schedule form lives. We believe really that your website is the foundation of your marketing. So like a lot of conversions happen on the website, generally speaking. So whatever you can do to get more of those forms filled in, but the forms that Mark showed, like at the very beginning, that request a quote form, for example, that is directly tied into the CRM system. So whatever happens with that form, that information gets transferred automatically to the central database, and then you can follow up like through Facebook or through the social media channel or in any other channel that they're available on. Mark, you want to add anything to that, or is that?
No, that's good. Yeah, another feature I didn't actually touch on, there is an appointment booking system. So yeah, you can even in that social media channel just give them a link to your calendar and they can actually book an appointment right from that. That of course doesn't make sense for all businesses, but for the ones that kind of rely on that initial meeting, it'd be very helpful. Any other questions?
Another question that came in early on, what's the easiest way to connect a CRM to a lead magnet on a WordPress website?
Okay. You want to tackle that, Mark?
Yeah, for sure. It's super easy. Basically, as Peter mentioned, those forms and the web chat, those can be integrated on any website. So yeah, it's kind of a technical language I'm talking, but you basically put like a snippet of code on the website and it's super easy to set up. So that goes for any website.
Yeah, so it looks like the form lives on your website, but essentially that form lives on the CRM website or platform. So it's completely seamless for your client, but you have the added benefit of not having to manually enter any information. And we can help with that if you need help with that for sure.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So with the estimate invoice feature on the Easyleads there, is there any way to get that to talk to QuickBooks, or would we basically just be re-entering the estimate into our bookkeeping system?
It does talk to QuickBooks, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much data I could transfer over. I could definitely look into that for you though. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be a super easy transition there. Yeah.
I like the fact that it actually gives them a contract,
Mhm.
which is I think something that we're missing in our business right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Dylan. Yeah.
Yeah, and oftentimes, like for the contracts, you will have something like PandaDoc or DocuSign, right? So another subscription that's completely disconnected from anything else you're doing. So with this, you have it built in, and it's seamless, and that information is already in your database, so you don't have to enter it twice. That's basically the main goal. Yeah, and the integration with QuickBooks, there is plugins available. And it's just like with the API, so that again, technical term, but the connection between the different platforms, right? There's definitely options there as well, because yeah, like this platform is not an accounting system. It never will be, but it just reduces the friction that your client may experience. And let's face it, if you're a smaller company, like that initial payment or down payment or deposit or that first invoice, you can even take that payment, for example, on your cell phone, like it's like the mobile app that comes with it. Like for tradespeople, for example, they can say after the job is done, well, here's my phone, give me your credit card. So even though it may be mean you need to interface with your accounting system, that is still a win in my opinion. Instead of sending, hey, I gotta send an invoice to you, and then they may pay later. Yeah, great question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Just a question in the chat here. Can you use Easyleads if you don't have a website for your business?
Yeah, that's another really good question. So yeah, we haven't even touched on that, but yeah, it does come with a landing page builder. So it's basically a very simple website builder that's built in, like for landing pages, for sales pages, but also you could build out a complete website. As a matter of fact, the Easyleads website is built in Easyleads, of course. So it functions it's not as feature rich as some of the custom websites that we build. But for a lot of smaller businesses, this actually has enough features to do some basic stuff like the contact information, the forms. So for our larger clients that require more, we do a combination of both oftentimes, right? The main website will be custom built, but then we have integrations. But in some cases, when we run a campaign for them that only needs one landing page without all the distractions, then actually we build that in Easyleads as well. So the answer is yes.
So another question that came in earlier, can a CRM also run email newsletters, or do you recommend separate tools?
I highly recommend using the tool that you're already using, right? Because yes, MailChimp is a pretty cool program. It does one thing really well, I have to say, right? And that's oftentimes how that works. They're best in class. They do one thing really well, but the problem that I see with that is that they're not connected to anything else, right? Unless you build all these connections between apps, and I know that's possible, but it's not the most elegant solution. So I truly believe that if you have the tool available, you're already paying for it. Why wouldn't you use it, right? It's very robust. We have very good success with it, and it's actually a lot cheaper than MailChimp, but especially if you have a very large list. Like the sending costs are actually extremely low. Good question.
And just one more question that we have. What are the average prices for a CRM system?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. It really, when it comes to CRM systems, there's a gazillion different options, as we all know, right? There's the big players, Salesforce, HubSpot, and then there's hundreds, if not thousands, other options. So it probably varies from anywhere from $50 a month, all the way to, we had clients that we got on our platform now that were paying like a couple $1,000s a month. So it's a really wide range. And what I see with a lot of the platforms, they charge per user. So they may start out free or only pay a small fee. Apparently a small fee, but then there's a lot of restrictions. Whereas like the offer that we have is basically unlimited users and unlimited everything. You get everything thrown into the mix. Now, you may not need all those tools, but if you do, and as your business grows, you have those tools available. And again, besides that, the biggest opportunity, the biggest advantage is to have them all in one bucket, basically. So every person only exists in your system once. But there's a wide range of pricing, and then also you need to look at how many users are available in the system, right? If you want to have somebody else log in as well or work on it, you have to look at the features. Sometimes I know HubSpot email marketing, for example, is an additional fee, right? And it really adds up really quickly. So our system is $297 a month for everything, whereas like the same HubSpot install probably would be a couple $1,000s a month. So it really, there's a lot of variables, but the other thing that Mark mentioned, I think earlier, is that we actually offer a managed solution. So we're not just giving you a tool and say, hey, go have fun with this. We're really intensely, setting this up for you from the start. And then also we're very much there to help you along with every step on the way. And we can get as involved in things as you want. Like we can set up the email marketing piece for you. That's part of our initial setup. And then you take it from there. In some cases, clients ask us to say, okay, well, that's great that we have this option, but then I want somebody to actually develop the content, send those emails, and do some of those other things. So that's another option we have as well. But yeah, again, going back to my example of 80% of CRM deployments fail, and I think we're trying to fix that. We're trying to say, no, that's not fair. Small business owners are not IT people necessarily, so we need to solve that problem for them. And then yeah, like the biggest win is if we actually see those leads coming into the system. We can see where they come from, and the first time our clients see this, they're amazed because they never had this kind of level of information, right? So again, The other thing I'm going to say about the what is the best CRM for you, because that's in a roundabout way what you're asking. It's a system you're actually using, right? Like there's every system, every platform has its pros and cons, but you pick like a system that actually works for your business. And again, there's no one size fits all. But if you're looking for something that has more than just, you know, just a very simple pipeline, right? Like if you're in sales, for example, there's tools that only do the sales pipeline, like the opportunities board, but they do it extremely well, and the salespeople love it, right? But from a business point of view, from a holistic point of view, that doesn't always make sense to the marketing department, because then they're missing out on a whole bunch of other tools that they need to do what they do. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to, because some of the people that ask these questions are on the call. So if you have a follow-up question, by all means, let us know. Yeah, while you're thinking about your next question, I just want to thank everybody for participating. We're definitely, I know your time is valuable, so we'll stick around on the call here for a few more minutes to answer any other questions that you may have.
Thank you for the info.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Bart.
Yeah, thank you.
You betcha. Yeah. No, it's exciting times to be alive, honestly. Like we even haven't touched on the AI aspect of things yet. Intentionally, it's a whole different area. But of course, AI is going to play a big role in how we run our businesses, right? Like it or not. And AI is kind of baked into a lot of these processes as well. So again, when I talked about making smart decisions based on data, some AI is built in to make that super easy for you to do that, right? So you without even ever leaving the tool. So, and that's the same for any other platform that you see come out. And I think it's going to be interesting to see to make a division between like what's hype, what's real, and what is actually works in real life. I mean, we're kind of in the Wild West situation right now of AI and everything. There's a lot of noise, right? I'm not sure how you experience this, but we're actually our next webinar is going to be on AI and what it actually is and what it's not. Because I think there's a great opportunity, but there's also a lot of unknowns, right? So I think a lot of small business owners are a little nervous about it, and I don't think they should be necessarily, because, I'm just going to pick on you, Bart, but gem silage products are, people still need to cover up their silage pits, okay? Like AI is not going to be able to do that. So I mean, it has more to do. It definitely will affect the marketing space, and that's what we're trying to sort out, right? Like how do we do marketing, and how do you get attention, and how, like we talk about a thing called search engine optimization, right? Because that's basically built on the fact that Google kind of controls that market, right? Up until now. 95% of people uses Google to search for stuff. This is all upside down now. People are starting to use AI engines to do searches. So there's a thing called zero-click, marketing. Like the people actually don't go to your website anymore in some cases, right? They basically AI gives them the answer they're looking for. But then the other part of me says like, okay, that's fine, but some people still need the plumber to come out, right? And they're not interested in the plumbing process or how your silage plastic is built. No, they're actually needing the physical product. So we're leaning into that and see what's possible. But I think there's a lot of unknowns. A lot of people are trying to figure this out right now.
Absolutely.
That resonates with anybody, but join our next webinar for sure. We're going to go in a little bit more detail, but from the perspective of a small business owner, not so much about the technology that's available and all the things it can do.
Cool.
Okay, thanks everybody. I appreciate your showing up, and yeah, we'll be sending you the information, and then any additional questions afterwards, by all means, you know where to find us. So.